A very warmest welcome to everyone in my new video. Today we are going to talking about food in space. Okay, living in space. The people who live and work in space are called astronauts. Astronauts live on an artificial satellite in space called the International Space Station. The International Space Station is 240 miles above the surface of the Earth. In space, there is less gravity, so everything floats. This makes living in space very different because the astronaut and the equipments and food float around. Write down 5 everyday items that might be more difficult to use because they are floating. Space food changing over the time. The food that astronauts eat has changed since the early space missions. At first, the food available for astronauts was limited and unappetizing. One of the first type of food eaten was vegetable soup that was served in the metallic tube. Now, astronauts can choose from a wide range of different food. Space food changing over the time. Let's see how space food has changed over time. In 1960s, space food was based on army survival rations and consisted of pure food packed. In 1962, scientists tested whether an astronaut could eat food in space. In 1961 to 1975, dehydrated milk, coffee, grapefruit juice, and soup could be eaten with just some added water. In 1969, the spoon bowl pack was invented so food could have hot water added. In 1973 and 74, on the Skylab mission, space was available for a dining room and table. In 1970s and 80s, space menus include more than 70 food items. Now, astronauts now get testing session so they can recommend dishes for their upcoming mission. Food in space. Astronauts have 3 healthy balanced meal during the day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some snacks. Astronauts usually choose their own menu, but nutritionists help to make sure it is healthy. There are lots of different things to think about when planning meals for in space. List 3 things the nutritionist and astronaut might need to be considered. What astronauts need. When astronauts go into space, food scientists and nutritionalists ensure that they have food provide the right amount of energy and nutrients for their need. Food that is lightweight and compact. Food that the astronauts enjoy eating. Food that is either ready to eat or can be prepared easily and quickly. Enough food that will last throughout their mission. Processing food ready for space. Astronaut can still have some of your favorite food in space, but they have to be prepared differently. Potatoes and prawn are heat processed and can't allow them to be stored at room temperature. Drink are dehydrated for transport and usually come in powdered form. Meat is heat processed so it can be stored at room temperature so it lasts longer and to remove harmful bacteria. Am I suitable for space? Take a look at this food. Are they suitable for space? Like croissant, tortilla, berries, prawn. Okay, I have too many crumbs to go into space. This is wrong. I am suitable for space. Chapati. I can go only into space if I am dried. Okay, so I can only go into space if I am cooked or dehydrated. So the next thing, there are even things the astronaut have to consider about how they eat in space. The dinner tray needs to be attached to the astronaut so it does not float away. Even cutlery is different. In space, astronauts need scissors to cut the food pouches. Salt and pepper need to be added to water or oil so it does not float away. Cutlery in space. Astronauts use knives and fork to eat just the same as you at home. Astronauts need scissors when they are eating to cut into the food pouches. Rather than a plate, astronauts have a meal tray. This need to be attached to the astronaut's lap or to a wall so it does not float away. Preparing food in space. How you prepare food is also different in space because you do not have the same equipment as on Earth. A meal for 4 astronauts can be set up in about 5 minutes, but heating or rehydrating the food take an extra 20 to 30 minutes. Let's have a look at a kitchen on Earth and think of some of the things we don't have in space. A space kitchen and a normal kitchen. Okay, so this is the kitchen that is available in space and this is the kitchen that is available in our normal kitchen. Okay, the ISS does not have a freeze or a freezer, so all food need to be able to stored at room temperature. There is no dishwasher for washing up in space, so food is packed in a disposable container. There is no hob at ISS, so astronauts have to use a food warmer or galley oven which is similar to an oven at home. There is no sink on the ISS, but astronauts have to add water to food. They can use a specially designed tap or a water gun. Preparing space food, the countdown. 18 months to go. Astronauts undergo testing session to help pick food for in space. After 5 months to go, astronauts along with nutritionalists choose what will be on the menu. 3 months to go. The menus are then finalized and given to the shuttle food contractor. 1 month to go. The food is cooked and packed. 2 to 3 days to go. The food is loaded onto a spacecraft. 0 day to go. Lift off the astronaut and the food go into space. Exercise in space. Gravity is less strong on the International Space Station as it is on Earth. Astronaut bone and muscles can weak, and as they are not working as hard because there is less gravity. Astronauts exercise for at least 2 hours each day. The ISS has its own gym which has special exercise equipments to allow astronauts to exercise. List 3 difficulties with exercising without any gravity. What do we know about food in space? Remember space. S stands for strap it down. Strap the tray and cutlery down so it does not float away. P for processed. Processed food so it can be stored for longer period. A. Appetizing. Food is now much more appetizing for astronauts. C for crumb. Make sure the food does not have crumbs as these can be dangerous. E. Easy to prepare. Make sure the food is easy to prepare. Example, just add water. So thank you very much to watching my video. What types of food that is used by astronauts in the space stations. If you liked it, so please share with your friends, teachers, and thank you so much.